Feeling overwhelmed by the challenges of being a single parent? You are not alone. Welcome to Single Parent Reset, the podcast that helps you navigate the ups and downs of single parenthood and find the balance you deserve. Whether you're a single parent, co-parent or solo parent, this is the show for you. I'm Orla and I'm a life coach for single parents and a single parent myself. For more about me and the services I offer, head to sudlescoaching.com. As a single parent, I know how hard it can be, but I believe every single parent has the strength to create a life that they are proud of. In each episode, we'll shine a light on the unique struggles single parents face and cover the aspects of single parenting that are often overlooked or left unspoken. I'll be sharing actionable steps to help you overcome these challenges and find more calm and fulfillment in your life. Single Parent Reset is your weekly opportunity to gain a fresh perspective, take back control, and feel more in charge of your journey. Do you find social events where you are around nuclear families where both parents are still together, extremely difficult because you cannot help but be overcome with feelings such as loneliness, shame, and even jealousy? Perhaps you even avoid these social situations altogether. This is a topic that many people are completely unaware of being a really big struggle for single parents. In this episode, we are going to discuss the challenge that many single parents face when around traditional family setups and help you understand why they can be so hard and ways to help you no longer dread these situations and actually enjoy them. Being a parent can suddenly mean a whole new host of social events are flung onto your calendar, from birthday parties to sports days to Christmas concerts. Within your own friends and family groups, as everyone begins to start and grow their own families, you may notice that social gatherings slowly switch more from big nights out or late night dinners to family barbecues and family picnics in the park where all the kids get to play together while the adults catch up. These events all may sound like the idyllic family life, but for single parents, they can be their worst nightmare, and they may even dread attending these events. Perhaps for you, you are absolutely blindsided by feelings of embarrassment for having to attend the event without your partner in tow, walking into a room full of people and hoping you will see a friendly face to talk to when you arrive, rather than standing awkwardly, not having anyone to talk to. Or perhaps you worry that everyone is talking about you and making assumptions about your family situation. Or you're feeling that you and your family are not even a proper family in comparison to all the other traditional families and you don't even belong there. Feelings of anger may even be stirred up when people begin to talk about their spouses and partners, leaving you feeling so uncomfortable that you've got nothing to add to the conversation and wanting the ground to swallow you up. And you cannot get over how no one sees how this might not be a pleasant conversation for you to have to participate in, as you maybe still are dealing with the healing process from your relationship breakdown. And you do not need other people bragging or complaining about their partners. You could even be holding anger at your situation in general, or even at your ex that you're having to face this day alone. Jealousy and envy could come up for you, that everyone else seems to have it all together and seems so happy. And also that they have someone else to help share the loads of looking after the kids and not having to be constantly on guard paying attention to your children. A deep sadness could come over you as you're seeing in real time the life that you expected to be living played out in front of you amongst all the other families who are happily married, and you're longing for that life that you thought that you would have. You could have a sense of isolation and loneliness that you don't have someone to share the day with or chat about it when you go home. As single parents, many of us had an idea of what our family would look like, and seeing those ideals play out for others can trigger grief, disappointment, or even envy. Social gatherings also often highlight societal norms, and when you don't match those, it's easy to fall into feeling othered. Add to that the practical challenges like managing your kids alone while watching others work as a team, and these feelings can hit even harder. And it is not even just at the social events that these feelings can strike, When you're spending the weekend with your children and you're out and about, you cannot help but see other families out spending quality time together and comparing yourself to them, feeling like you're missing something. All these emotions and feelings can be a lot to take in, and they can be so overwhelming that they can even be hard to articulate. Today, we're going to shed a light on how to have some compassion for yourself and start gaining new perspectives so that you can start to enjoy the time with other families without being flooded with negative thoughts or feelings. Because if anyone deserves time out and about with other families, it is single parent families who need the connection the most. The first time that I really struggled with feelings of this, I was going to a really nice day that I had planned with the NCT friends of mine. We had hired out a hall and we were going to have games with the kids, and we'd all made food for us all to share. I was really looking forward to this day, and even though my son was at his dad's house that weekend, I asked his dad could I have him just for the 2 hours for the party, which his dad very kindly agreed to. So his dad dropped him off and I was so excited to get into the party and hang out with all of our friends. Initially, I was having fun watching my son play, see all the games that they were doing, and catching up with everyone, finding out what they were all doing for Christmas. But after the first hour had passed and then we all started to sit down and have some food, I can only describe it as a dark cloud just slowly started to creep over me. I just couldn't help but look around me and feel like the complete odd one out. Here were all these families with their 2 kids, mums and dads, and there was me. Why was I even there? That's honestly how I felt. I just didn't think I had a place even being there. I wasn't even a proper family. I managed to get through the last hour, and honestly, I was happy to flee the scene. I dropped my son back with his dad. I had made some plans after the event, luckily, because I was very upset. I needed some consoling. I went and I met my friends and I just could not stop crying. And I thought, "Oh, I've come so far. It's been so long since I separated now. Why am I feeling this way?" I couldn't even articulate the words of how I was feeling. And I realised that whilst, yes, I had made great strides in where I was at, I still had a lot of work to do around truly accepting and celebrating my situation that I was in. And in fact, I was stuck in a negative loop of comparison and shame. And I did do this. I did do the work. And now I can say that I honestly look forward to events with this particular group of friends and also any family events that I do go to. But honestly, I'm never going to forget that feeling I had that day. And I know too well how common it is among single parents and how no one ever speaks about it because, well, the feelings are very heavy and very dark. And you don't want to burden others with them. And also they can be hard to put into words. Today, we're going to start to break it down so that you can accept and move past these feelings and start to enjoy situations that you may currently be dreading. So the first thing you can do is do some preparation ahead of the event. Check in with where your head is at in relation to the event and begin to preempt some of the negative emotions that may arise for you so that you can prepare for them. Close your eyes and imagine yourself at the event. Really put yourself in the situation. Where are you? Who are you talking to? What are you wearing? Once you have a clear vision in your head, ask yourself, what emotions come up? Name the emotions and acknowledge them without judgment. Tell yourself it's okay to feel them. You are allowed to feel this way. By naming and acknowledging the emotion, it will lose some of its power over you. I find this a really useful technique to help me be really realistic about how I'm feeling about an upcoming event, as by visualizing myself there, it can uncover my true feelings and I can begin to process them rather than having them crop up from what feels like out of nowhere at the event, throwing me completely off. And while you're doing this preparation, reflecting, check in also on your mindset around your family setup. It's important to remind yourself that you and your family deserve to be there. Your family, no matter how it looks, is enough. And it's something to be proud of. Events like these aren't about fitting into a certain mold, they're about showing up and embracing who you are. Your journey as a single parent has shaped you into something strong and resourceful. Your child sees you showing up, being present, and creating memories with them. And that's what matters most. Try shifting your perspective if you're finding this difficult. Tell yourself, I am proud of the family I've created and the life I'm building. By accepting your family for exactly what it is, a unit full of love, strength, and connection, you're reclaiming your power. You're not less because your family looks different. You're inspiring because you're showing up and growing every single day. This empowering mindset can help you approach social gatherings with confidence and pride, no longer focusing on what's missing, but instead appreciating all that you do have within your family. Now that we've done some work on your mindset, the next step is doing some logistical planning ahead. Practically speaking, there are some things you can do to help ease any worries you may have. Maybe if you dread arriving alone, make plans to meet someone before so that you can arrive together. Perhaps you hate going home alone afterwards. Make sure you've got plans afterwards. Even if the event is late, host a sleepover so that you can have company to debrief on the day. Be open and honest. Talk to people ahead of the event if you're feeling worried and anxious, and you'll be safe in the comfort knowing that they know what you are going through and they can support you on the day and check in on you throughout the day. If you find it hard to watch your kids and relax at these events, ask one or two other parents at the event to help look after your kids so that you can use the chance to relax and socialise. So moving on to actually being at the event. If you do notice feelings arise during the event, ask yourself the following questions. What am I feeling now? Again, name the emotion. Is it sadness, loneliness, jealousy, frustration? By identifying it, you can begin to process it instead of letting it take over. On that emotion, ask yourself, is this emotion temporary? Will it matter tomorrow? How can I give myself grace for feeling this way without judgment? Looking at comparison, ask yourself, is this about me, or am I comparing my situation to others? Am I holding myself to an unrealistic standard based on what I see in others? This is such an easy trap to fall into. You can start to compare your behind the scenes struggles to someone else's highlight reel. But here's the truth. No family, nuclear or not, is perfect. Everyone has their own challenges, even if they aren't visible in that moment. Another great question. Ask yourself, who am I here for? Am I focusing on my child enjoying themselves or on how I feel about others' situations? Looking at reframing the situation, ask yourself, how can I reframe this situation positively? This isn't about what's missing, it's about showing up, connecting and growing. How can I use this experience as a reminder of my growth? Even showing up to this event is a sign of your strength and effort. And if you are feeling really overwhelmed, ask yourself, what would make this event feel more comfortable for me right now? Do I need to take a break, talk to a friend, or shift my focus to my child's joy? If you are finding you're becoming overwhelmed and need that break, try a grounding exercise to help you feel centered. You could try deep breathing or focusing on physical sensations like feeling your feet on the ground. And finally, the last step is, once you've got yourself through the event and it is over, take time to reflect on how it went. Ask yourself, what went well at this event? Even small wins like showing up and having a brief positive interaction are worth celebrating. What did not go well and why? What can you do to improve this next time? If things didn't go perfectly, remind yourself, I'm learning, this is the process, and I'm doing my best. Also, have a minute to recognize any patterns. Is there anything in particular that triggered certain emotions? Spend some time reflecting on what this could be. Now, I'm not saying that family-centered events are suddenly going to be a walk in the park, but with these strategies, you can start to remove the negative emotions and begin to look forward to these events. If you are really finding them challenging, ease yourself into these events. Start small with a play date with another family, or go for an hour rather than the whole day, and slowly build yourself up. Every time you attend a social gathering, despite whatever you may be feeling, you're proving to yourself just how strong you are. Use these moments as a reminder of how far you've come. This is part of your growth journey as a single parent. So yes, socialising around nuclear families can really be a silent struggle for many single parents as they slap on their best smile and struggle through the event. But you and your family are more than deserving to be at these events, and you also deserve to enjoy them, not just endure them. Take the time to put these strategies in place and remember to be compassionate with yourself and know that you are not alone in how you feel. What is the next event in your calendar that you may have been dreading, and what are you going to do to make it that bit more enjoyable for you? You can start making steps today to make it something to look forward to. Thank you so much for listening to this week's episode of Single Parent Reset. In next week's episode, I'm going to be talking about the setbacks that can come along in our single parent journey that can sometimes knock us back to what feels like square one. I'm going to share strategies to help overcome these setbacks so you can bounce back quicker and even stronger. If you're interested in working with me one-to-one, please go to my website solacecoaching.com for further details. And I want to recognise you today for taking those 15 minutes to listen to this podcast and spend some time on you and focusing on yourself. If you found this episode useful, please share it with your friends and family that you think will find it useful. Remember, single parents are great at putting a show on that everything is just fine. But this episode may be exactly what your single parent friend needs to hear today to help them get through the next week.